and the television coverage is terminated.
The camera may have veered away, but the testimony continues. Marsha Clark determined to bit by bit tear down at Simpson, attracting the jury's attention when she points out that Simpson cut his left hand and that it was the left-handed glove that was found in Bundy. Asking hypothetically why Simpson didn't go to his regular doctor to treat that cut, but to his lawyer's doctors, who said O.J. had 4 cuts and 7 abrasions, all supposedly from broken glass. Furious note-taking by jurors when she points to the fact that Simpson, when notified of his ex-wife's death, didn't ask how she died.
However, I realize that since we're having extended hours, one or two of you may have a need for a comfort break. So if you...
After meeting with attorneys and the DA, Judge Ito fines the media $1,500 and turns the cameras back on. Late in the afternoon, Christopher Darden takes over.
This case is about this defendant, O.J. Simpson, and the M word, murder. It's not about Mark Fuhrman and the N word.
The mere mention of Fuhrman's name keeps the jurors' attention. Then there's this attack.
The blood drops at Bundy, the blood on his sock, the blood trail to Rockingham. It all points to him.
Jurors listen, their best poker faces on through most of Darden's argument.
See, I'm not afraid to point to him. Nobody's pointed him out and said he did it. I'll point to him.
Ultimately, his argument was similar to Marsha Clark's, and her analogy of a puzzle with some pieces missing that, according to the prosecution, still convey one picture.
There he is. You haven't even heard the why of it, the why he did it, and you know he did it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. I feel like it's been forever since I've talked to you. It kind of has. It's very weird to be in this courtroom next to you, seeing you every day, not getting a chance to talk to you. It's just very unnatural. And I have to tell you that as long as I've been doing this, as many years as I've been doing this, at this moment in a trial, I always feel the same. I feel like I want to sit down with you and say, what do you want to talk about? Tell me what you're thinking. You want a pen, sir?
Juror 165 needs a pen. Ms. Clark.
Thank you, sir. I want to sit down. I want to talk to you. I want you to tell me, what do you want to know? You know, what do you want to talk about? Because that way I don't have to talk about stuff that you don't need to hear, stuff that you don't want explained, stuff that you're not interested in. And I can't. And I always have this sense of frustration. So I'm sorry if I say things that you don't need to hear or explain things that are already very clear to you. Please bear with me because I'm not a mind reader and I don't know. Let me first, I want to take this opportunity to thank you. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have been through so much. You have made a tremendous sacrifice. You haven't seen your children enough. You haven't seen your family enough. You haven't seen your loved ones enough. And all of this in the name of justice, in the service of justice. Your dedication and your selflessness are truly beyond the pale. No one can say that any jury has sacrificed more for the cause of justice than you have. And I want you to know sincerely from my heart, I appreciate it. I speak on behalf, I know, of the people of the state of California. This was a tremendous sacrifice. Did he lie when he testified here in this courtroom saying that he did not use racial epithets in the last 10 years? Yes. Is he a racist? Yes. Is he the worst LAPD has to offer? Yes. Do we wish that this person was never hired by LAPD? Yes. Should LAPD have ever hired him? No. Should such a person be a police officer? No. In fact, do we wish there were no such person on the planet? Yes. But the fact that Mark Fuhrman is a racist and lied about it on the witness stand does not mean that we haven't proven the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And it would be a tragedy if, with such overwhelming evidence, ladies and gentlemen, as we have presented to you, you found the defendant not guilty, in spite of all that, because of the racist attitudes of one police officer. It is your duty, and it will be your challenge, to stay focused on the question you were brought here to answer. And the only question that you were brought here to answer: did the defendant commit these murders? And now let me summarize for you what we have proven. One piece of the puzzle. We've proven the opportunity to kill. We've given the time window in which he was able to kill because his whereabouts were unaccounted for during the time that we know the murders were occurring. We have the hand injuries that were suffered on the night of his wife's murder. We have the post-homicidal conduct that I told you about, lying to Allen Park. We have the manner of killings, killings that indicate that it was a rage killing. We have the knit cap at Bundy. We have the Bruno Mali shoe print, size 12, all of them size 12, his size shoe. We have the Bundy blood trail, his blood to the left of the bloody shoe prints. We have the blood in the Bronco, his, and Ron Goldman's. We have the Rockingham glove. We have the socks. There he is.
They want to tell you that the police conspired against O.J. Simpson. Nicole says they've been out there 8 times before and never did anything to him. I don't know. But let me ask you this. How many times does it take? Nicole said it with her own mouth back then. He's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. And sure enough, he has.
Law students who spend their brief moments between studying briefs watching the Simpson trial.
I know some of members of my family are pretty addicted to it. You know, they just can't take their eyes off it. It's hard for me to.
Some aren't so happy about all the hoopla.
After a long day of class, the last thing we want to do is on our break, sit in our lunchroom and listen to more of this.
Still, to most of these would-be lawyers, the attorneys paraded before the cameras have become pop icons. Forget Melissa Etheridge or Hootie. These students would rather watch Marcia Clark or Johnny.
It's been a great example of how the criminal law works. I think that it's been, I heard someone talking about how this is it's a civics lesson for the whole country.
You actually get a practical look at what's going on. I think it's very educational.
Those students eventually attended afternoon classes, just at about the same time as Judge Ito was giving Simpson viewers his version of a media whiplash. Loyal trial followers like these O.J. junkies, furious that L.A.'s soap opera suddenly went dark.
I just think it's kind of silly that he did that.
That's very disappointing. That was the best part. That was like the best part of the soap opera.
Of course, those O.J. junkies didn't have to wait for long. Judge Ito eventually turned the camera back on. And so TV sets everywhere went back to showing the trial. Many feeling the only thing behind the 8-ball here is justice.
Everybody's talking about it every day, and I wonder how long it's going to go on.
Is everyone talking about it everywhere you go? So what are they saying?
Jokingly, because it's pretty much a joke.
She treat her hair.
And at this hair salon, perhaps the most poignant comments of all.
Something like this, back where I came from, it won't be happen.
This recent immigrant from Indonesia says such coverage of any trial is unheard of in his native land. This is a blessing, he says, we should not so easily discount.
And it's very fascinating to me here that justice
Really works here?
really works.
Justice is